Welcome to the Real CP Show. I'm your host, CP. And today's topic, an Asian teen and his father complains that the teen's high score looked over or is looked over by major colleges. It is the audacity of this. And I'm gonna show that video again for timepiece purposes, where this Asian father uh, and his Asian son, and how they were complaining. Well, on the previous video, they were complaining about how they basically was looked over and things like this. The audacity, because again, if American blacks was complaining about why can't they get in colleges, they'd be like, well, just get over it, work hard. Y'all always talking about racism. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all, my goodness, man. But then when this particular Asian father and this Asian son, latecomers, by the way, complained that he has a high score and he was looked over by various types of well-known colleges, some Ivy League schools, some not, then it's like, oh my goodness, what's the problem? Oh, it must be some racial quota, right? You like, wait a minute now for a second. So you think it's racial discrimination because you didn't get racial quotas because you didn't get into colleges? Well, yeah. What? You think so, right? But they'll say, wait a minute now. Well, what about, again, work hard, stop complaining? What's the problem? Oh, they don't want to hear that kind of stuff, right? They do not want to hear that. And it is an insult to numbers of American blacks who sit there and do not realize the game, that there are certain numbers of Asians that are insulting numbers of American blacks, right? This is what it's like. Yes, yes, yes. This is what it's like again. Yes, yes. Now again, there are certain numbers of good Asians and certain number of bad Asians. The problem is there are a certain number of Asians who cannot stand other Asians. Again, there are certain numbers of Asians who can't stand other Asians, but they look crazy and they use numbers of American blacks as pawns to not know the game and utilize numbers of American blacks playing this people of color, minority, we're all, human being type game, right? But before I get into that particular video, I'm going to show you. Let me also show you this particular initial video, right? Because see, sometimes we have numbers of black folks that have a skin of black. They're not necessarily American black, because again, there are good ones and there are bad ones, but there are ones that also have to get a remindment on this situation. And the one I'm going to show you is an Olympian, good looking, well, we would consider category black woman, but she is not of American black per se. Well, she's American black per se on maybe one side, the mother side, but on the father side, she's not. But on the outside appearances, you really can't tell the difference to a point. But I'm gonna get to the point why I'm sitting there showing you this.
In case y'all don't know who the woman on your screen is, that is Gabby Thomas. She is a multiple gold medal Olympic, I'm about to say gymnast track runner. She actually participated in the Paris Games last year. She's won, I believe, on the team side and even on the individual side. She's very successful. She's out of Texas. And, everything is going good for her until recently when some people decided they were going to come at her sideways and byways because they are trying to claim that she did not earn her Harvard degree. Yes, this woman has a degree from Harvard, and I believe she was in the School of STEM. And y'all know what I always say about the School of STEM. The School of STEM gets the most funding, and it's the reason why they get a lot of funding. I can't remember exactly what the degree is in, but I'm sure as I go to the article, it'll explain to you what the degree is. But basically, they were trying to accuse her of being DEI, of course, and we all know why. And even she knows why, because she addressed it as she should have. She basically said, because I'm black. And now, after a social media, the record straight after addressed it as she should have, she basically said, because I'm black.
Now, keep that in mind. Again, one side of her family, I think her mother might be an American black, and that's fine. But the father is not, right? But then you heard what he said that, oh, well, she got reminded by whatever troll or trolls. Well, how did she get in certain type of, well-known Ivy League schools? Well, because I'm black. Oh, is that right? Oh, now you're black when people wanted to be black, right? Right? I'm just giving an example or something on that.
And that's basically what it boils down to. They feel like, oh, she's an athlete, so how smart can she actually be? But we're going to go ahead and get into this article coming from HuffPost. It was posted on January 27, 2025. Gabby Thomas is setting the record straight after being grilled by internet trolls over her validity of her Harvard degree. After a social media user on Twitter wrote over the weekend that Thomas, quote unquote, doesn't sound like she's the brightest out there, the Olympic champion, aged 27, responded just minutes later in her own post. She said, "You're probably right. Darn my Harvard degree," Thomas replied on Saturday. In a separate post on Sunday, Thomas shared that the Twitter user's comments set off a chain of racist comments from people accusing her of being dishonest about earning her degree from the Ivy League institution due to her race.
Now it's about race again, right? Again, this is not about her per se. Oh, well, by the way, before I forget, for anybody's interesting, because this particular topic, an Asian teen and father complains that his teen's high scores was looked over by a major college, the Audacity, right? Because insults American blacks. Same game, this a different personnel. I have already done another Infocast before. It's in a description for somebody who might wants to be interested and looking at that. Same old tactics, because it's unfunny how there's a certain number of Asian caste system people that were used not too long ago by another person to personnel who know who they are. Where if you say something bad about certain by a holy cause or something like that, or you minimize it, they'll tell you are anti-Semitic. Oh my goodness. There are people who know what I'm talking about. When I say anti-Semitic, they know what I'm talking about. So they utilize certain white Asians to help strike down certain types of racial quotas that was able to be used by certain type of colleges. The audacity is that well-known Ivy League colleges have a very be a very low demographics of American blacks already in those Ivy League colleges, many of them, and other colleges, very well-known colleges, right? And many of them have a high Asian demographics, right? And have, which would be, you would think is logical sense, a high percentage of numbers of personnel within the Panamese culture, right? Do you see the craziest hell of this game plan? But it's not good enough to have either a large percentage of Asians in various Ivy League colleges. It's not good enough, right? They want more. The one this applies to, because again, you got good and you got bad numbers of agents, but it's audacity, right? And they'll sit there and smile in your dang face, knowing they playing the little disgusting tactics, right? And so I just want to relay that over also.
Today, on January 26, 2025, there are hundreds of people commenting on my Twitter page that specifically because I am black, they must assume that I did not earn my admission into Harvard, nor did I earn my diploma. Is this real life? The three-time gold medalist wrote. Social media users on Twitter showed support for Thomas, who won the women's 200-meter final at the 2024 Paris Olympics, in the comment section while blasting the ridiculous claims. One person said, "Ridiculous. I don't see why they assume that people have nothing better to do." Another person said, "Wow, racist trolls really out here proving they know nothing about excellence. Harvard doesn't hand out degrees. You earn them through hard work, talent, and brilliance. Keep shining." Another user wrote, "You are exemplary. For them, a painful reminder of all they are not, and with those tainted souls will never be. May the wind be ever at your back, and may it carry their howls of agony away from you." Thomas graduated from Harvard University in 2019 with a degree in neuroscience as well as a minor in global health and health policy, according to the university. She later earned her master's degree in public health from the University of Texas at Austin per Harvard's website and her LinkedIn account.
They don't care. Those troll type people don't care. right? And she got a type of remindment card, right? Because on her mom's side, might be the American Black particular part, right? So if she wanted to claim lineage based, she could. If her mom is American Black and lineage based back to the 1800s, she can do that. Not a problem with that. It's not. Well, I'm gonna sit there and say where the father side is. I'm gonna say that on that part. But keep that in mind. On the outside appearances, does she look like she's American Black? Well, depending on who you talk to, some people can kind of say, no, not necessarily. Really, sometimes people say, maybe so. Who knows? But I'm saying to you, if our mom is American Black, then she can go back and do lineage based. That's fine. But at the same time, she got her remind me card. Now, keep that in mind on that particular part. Now, let me sit there and play this particular video relating to her. Give me a second, Hero. That she got her remind me card. Make sure I got that set up. Get that set right. Hold on, make sure I got that right. All right. Okay, here we go. Make sure.
Now everyone knows that I am Jamaican because I do believe that that's where I get my fast roots.
Oh, what'd she say?
Now everyone knows that I am Jamaican because I do believe that that's where I get my fast roots from.
Gabby, I just wanted to ask about your Jamaican connection because you do receive a lot of love online from the Jamaican fans.
I do, yeah.
So I just wanted to ask about your connection with Jamaica. What is it? How Jamaican do you feel, etc.?
Yeah, so my grandfather is actually Jamaican. He lives there and he's from there. And then my dad didn't grow up in Jamaica, but he is Jamaican and he always liked to bring the culture home with me. And he's from there. And then my dad didn't grow up in Jamaica. Jamaican, he lives there and he's from there. And then my dad, yeah, so my grandfather is actually Jamaican. He lives there and he's from there. And then my dad didn't grow up in Jamaica, but he is Jamaican and he always liked to bring the culture home with me. He knows that I am Jamaican because I do believe that that's where I get my fast. Now everyone knows that I am Jamaican because I do believe that that's where I get my fast roots from.
Gabby, I just wanted to ask about your Jamaican connection because you do receive.
Now everyone knows that I am Jamaican because I do believe that that's where I get my fast roots from.
So she got her she got her remindment on that situation. Then I let her know, and so it's like whoever trolled her, they say, "Oh, how did she get in that well-known Ivy League college and another college? Oh, she don't really talk right, or she don't act like she's that kind of educated. Oh, well, they didn't like me because I'm Black. Oh, now they want to bring up Black, but at the same time, you heard what she said. No, I'm Jamaican. Whoa. Oh, okay. My father, well, he's not really Jamaican, but he's Jamaican. You see how this goes, right? People jump right real fast when they get reminded. They jump right on fast about the Black part of them, the American Black part, if they are, or if they're not American Black, they'll play I'm Black now, but at the same time, when that Black pain, pseudo Black pain goes by, then they go back to their tribalisticness thing. You understand where I'm coming from? So it's funny as well because the same situation with her, again, it's not her personally. It's interesting because look at this. Her boyfriend or fiance, he's showing some teeth as well. She's showing some teeth as well. Right now, he's not of what we think of American white. He might be a white minority, little slick game right there, right, by his last name. But the point I'm making is that, he would be able to dip in, dip out himself. He wanted to play some minority because, like, wait a minute, no. My great, they're from England, or they great, they're from Scotland or from Wales. You get the point, right? Czechoslovakia. Or Ireland, like I said, I'm just giving an example. Well, that'd be considered minority. You see the little game playing, but see, she got her remindment, right? And himself, he graduated from an Ivy League college himself. But you best believe there are not going to be numbers of Asians, the ones that are sellouts and coons, the ones that have an anti-American Black hatred, and some other people within the Panama-based culture, one it applies to, they have a hatred for American Blacks, the ones it applies to. They're not going to talk about her boyfriend, her fiance. Well, how did he get in that college, right? They ain't going to say he's DEI or he got affirmative action certified. You see how that goes? The game is strong, right? The game is strong on that situation. Now, let me go ahead and play this particular one of the main videos relating to this particular Asian teen and father complains that his teen high scores was looked over by a major colleges. The audacity. Because by the way, how many colleges again that are Ivy Leagueists are led by American blacks? They're not. So the game is that there are certain numbers of white Asians that want to sit there and dominate at various colleges, and they'll do just like this. The ones that do this, they'll do just like this and be like, "Yep, those Negroes don't know we are playing most of them like fools because they're playing both sides." They will smile in the face of American blacks and sit there at the same time be like this. I wasn't gonna show this particular video, but let me show you this particular video.
What's the issue?
What's up?
Why are you coming over here?
I just want to see what you guys are taking pictures of.
Why is it your business?
Well, you know what? This is my home.
Okay, mine too. Why are you taking pictures
Where
of
do
me?
you live?
I live in Scottsdale. Why are you taking pictures of me?
Michigan plates?
Yeah. Why are you taking pictures of me?
Well, you know what? We've had problems here.
I don't care. You don't know me. Why are you taking pictures of me? And I don't know you. Do you know a lot of white men are doing racist things in this world, sir?
No.
You don't know that? You're not aware
I'm
of
a
that?
racist.
You are a racist.
I'm a racist.
Okay, that's fine.
Is it not very clear that there are certain numbers of Asians that have a hatred for American blacks? I'm talking about the ones it applies to. Let me sit there and show this again. I wasn't going to play this one, but it just kind of popped up in my mentality to show this.
What's the issue?
What's up?
Why are you coming over here?
I just want to see what you guys are taking pictures of.
Why is it your business?
Well, you know what? This is my home.
Okay, mine too. Why are you taking pictures
Where
of
do
me?
you live?
I live in Scottsdale. Why are you taking pictures of me?
Michigan plates?
Yeah. Why are you taking pictures of me?
Well, you know what? We've had problems here.
I don't care. You don't know me. Why are you taking pictures of me? And I don't know you. Do you know a lot of white men are doing racist things in this world, sir?
No.
You don't know that? You're not aware
I'm
of
a
that?
racist.
You are a racist.
I'm a racist.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay? So
what's
the
your
issue?
point? Why?
But again, you'll have some ones that you'll have some bad Asians who know they are that be like, they'll play games and be like, it's not all Asians. I'm not playing that little silly freaking game, right? It's logical sense. There are good numbers of Asians. There are bad numbers of Asians. The problem is, again, there are numbers of coons and sellouts and anti-American black Asians out there who know they are, right? And there are numbers of Asians who hate the guts of other Asians. But again, they don't like when numbers of American blacks see through their little nonsense game, right? And they'll play there. Again, it's not all Asians. Yes, because they know what's coming soon. And they don't like when numbers of American blacks see through the little nonsense, right? They don't like when numbers of American blacks see that they are pseudo colonizing various colleges. And they want to push out as many American blacks as possible. Just like they've done certain things in Jamaica, just like they got certain tentacles in Jamaica, just like they got certain tentacles in Jamaica, just like they got their tentacles in certain parts of Africa, right? And sitting there smiling in front of numbers of African faces and numbers of Africans, the one that supplies that don't even realize what is happening or what's coming through to Africa, right? And in America, again, they utilize numbers of Americans as pawns and stuff like that to smile in front of numbers of American black faces, while at the same time sitting there stabbing them behind their back, right? And then have the nerve be like, well, it's not all eight. I'm like, get out of here with that game. See, the game is the game, right? So let me go ahead and play this particular main video about this Asian teen and his Asian father that complains that his teen high scores was looked over by major colleges, and get the point, as if there's no other smart Asians out there and that did not make it to those other colleges. You see the game. I mean, how privileged do certain numbers of white Asians think they are, right? Golly, boy. Here we go. Should you see before they get to this particular newscast, you see some of the colleges and stuff like that where he was rejected and he was pissed off and think he should have got in there and start complaining about, oh, it's basically racial quotas and stuff like that. You don't give a damn about American blacks. It's about certain type of white Asianness. The one applies to, right? And unfortunately, none of the American blacks don't know the game. So they're about to start this particular news.
0.4 GPA. And you may recall the ABC7 story that went viral 16 months ago. A Palo Alto teen hired straight out of high school by Google as a PhD level software engineer, yet he was rejected by most colleges he applied to, including 5 UC campuses, even with a 4.4 GPA.
How dare they sit there and reject him, right? And you look up numbers of those UC campuses and you look at the demographics. To me, it's elementary level, but you look at those campuses and stuff like that, that they're, I'm going to say the word, that they're complaining about, right? And you see that either it'll be predominant numbers of American white or whites in the category of white, that will be the main demographics. And depending on what else you look at, you might sit there and see the number one demographics are numbers of Asians. You see this little disgusting tactic, right? But you got certain number of white Asians, the one this applies to, because there is a caste system of Asianness in America. Let me say this again. There is a caste system of Asianness in America. And they do look upon certain numbers of American blacks as fools. And they even look at certain numbers of Caucasians as silly too, right? So while the beef is going on between numbers of American whites and numbers of American blacks, which is it's understandable why, because again of still people denying reparations, denying racial racism, terrorism that still continue to keep happening toward American blacks and minimize it. But at the same time, you better not deny again what that bad man Hitler did to certain type of Jewish people. You better not deny the Chinese Exclusion Act. You better not deny certain numbers of Asians who were put in concentration camps, we're supposed to call concentration camps in World War II. You see how that game goes. But let me go ahead and finish this up.
And a 1590 out of 1600 on the SATs.
Some of them were certainly.
You may recall the ABC7 story that went viral 16 months ago. A Palo Alto teen hired straight out of high school by Google as a PhD level software engineer, yet he was rejected by most colleges he applied to, including 5 UC campuses, even with a 4.4 GPA and a 1590 out of 1600 on the SATs.
Some of them were certainly expected, Stanford, MIT, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, for some of them, like Cal Poly, some of the state schools, I really thought, I had a good chance.
His name, Stanley Jong, and he and his father just filed a lawsuit against the University of California and the U.S. Department of Education. The Jongs allege that UC is engaging in racial discrimination in admissions despite the law banning the use of race in the process. Joining us live now to talk about their lawsuit, Nan Jong, Stanley's father, and the co-plaintiff in this new lawsuit. Nan, thanks for being here. I'm going to start here. Why isn't Stanley joining us today?
Well, so he is facing a lot of pressure socially and in the social circle and in general macro environment. Generally, there's a lot of hostility towards Asian Americans standing up for their rights in college admission.
This fool got the nerve. You hear this nonsense? Oh my goodness. It's anti-American, it's Asians. What? The number one hated group in America is American blacks. You see how, again, certain numbers of white Asians who are being very sneaky, right? They won't talk about numbers of their anti-American black hatred by numbers of Asians, the one this applies to. You see how this goes, right? And by the way, before I forget, I'm looking at the demographics. He said University of California, you heard he was talking about, has a diverse body, including students from many racial ethnic backgrounds, as well as from California and other parts of the world. As an example, this particular source says, in the fall of 2023, 36.3% of UC undergraduates were Asian. .2% were Latino, 20.3% were white, 4.6% were black. You see this fool. Let me read this again. In the fall of 2023, 36.3% of UC undergraduates were Asian, 26.2% were Latino, 20.3% were white, 4% were black. But this fool, you don't see or hear what you hear. I want you to just believe what I say, that, oh, it's anti-Asians. It's anti-Asians. And the majority, according to this particular source, that the number one demographics, again, depending on what you're looking at, but under this part, 2023 fall, the number one demographics in UC undergraduates were Asians. Man, he don't get the hell out of here with that damn game. You see how they do? You see how some of these little sneaky ass Asians, the ones applies to, right?
Witness in the Affirmative versus Homo case. So yeah, I got a thick skin. I can deal with it, so I'm here.
Okay, I think everyone is pretty familiar with Stanley's story and his credentials, but one person's results don't prove a pattern or practice, right? Many high-achieving, brilliant students are qualified, yet rejected by the UCs. Do you have any specific evidence?
And you see how this particular Asian, and she's probably looking at him like, you sound stupid. And she didn't really want to say, well, there's other Asians out there who have high scores too. Just because you have a gigantic high score don't mean you are worthy to get in that college. You don't think certain colleges have also certain quotas? One, say for instance, they can't allow 50% of Asians to get in college and stuff like that. So you got to have just more than just a high score, right? And if she's sitting there looking at that fool like, man, what are you talking about, right? There are other Asians that, have high scores too, and have, some of them may not have that kind of high score, and some of them might have a similar high score, but they also have done other different things. But to this Asian father, he doesn't care. He's only seeing about his son, which I got it on that. But the way he's doing it is very sneaky.
Of racial discrimination beyond that Stanley was competitive on paper and got hired by Google.
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to prove in the court, and I think we have a good strong case to show there. First of all, in addition to Stanley, there are a lot of other Asian American students who actually contacted us about their college admission stories, how they're rejected by UC despite their outstanding qualifications, similar to Stanley.
And you hear what I just read? What did I read you? The majority of UC's demographics in that fall of 2023 was Asians. Man, this guy get the F out of here with that damn game, man. I'm telling you, more American bodies better wake the hell up and see these games.
So that is evidence number one. Evidence number two, that we have collected evidence that UC is using race in clear violation of the law in faculty hiring.
But then you see the game. Watch the game. He switched over. Oh, well, UC's faculty. Now, I haven't even looked up the faculty of UC. And how much you want to bet that the majority of UC is not American blacks? Right? There's going to be white, on the category white, Asian, or Hispanic. Do you understand that? Because in California, the demographics, if I remember correctly, the American blacks are becoming minute in demographics. I think they represent a single digit now in California. You see this little disgusting tactic of this particular person that you are you hear him playing this little disgusting tactic, right? Because he want his Asian son in that college. You're like, okay, well, just go to another college. How about this? How about whatever their origins are, whatever particular Asian country, whatever that's supposed to mean? Because, by the way, Asia is a continent, by the way. Armenia is a country within Asia. India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. Do you understand? Oh, but they don't want to go. They don't want to go there. They don't know if they Chinese, are they Korean, or Vietnamese. No. They said regardless of where they're at from original. They don't want to go back there. They don't want to go there. You see the game? It's a pseudo game, right?
To the degree they're actually it's not only using it, but they're also knowing it's illegal. They're also hiding the evidence of using it. So that's evidence number 2. Evidence number 3, we also look at some of the limited available public data, and there's a clear suppression of the Asian enrollment despite the strong population growth.
Listen to this fool.
We also look at some of the limited available public data, and there's a clear suppression of the Asian enrollment despite the strong population growth.
I mean, man, when people play a game, that's disgusting. What did I read earlier? And Harvard other resources are going to say the number 1 and number 2 populations in the UC college demographics are either going to be, well, you know what I read earlier, right? In 2023, well, let me go back. Is it still here? In 2020, let me see if I still got that up. I think I took that down. I've already read it already, right? 2023 fall, the number 1 demographics of UC, right? University of California district, because that's what they was talking about, the college district, right? Was Asians. So how in the hell can you sit there and be like, oh my goodness, they're basically trying to suppress Asian enrollment when the number 1 enrollment at UC, right? The UC colleges in California, right, are Asians. Man, you need to get the hell out of here. Some people like this have a thought pattern like this is like, how dare you deny my Asianness, right? You're like, who the hell you think your ass is? There are numbers of other Asians that didn't make it over there. Who the hell you think you are? But you see this disgusting tactic.
In the Asian community in California.
You know, just because even if you could prove that in faculty hiring there is a racial consideration, can you necessarily draw a straight line to admissions? That is a totally different process, right?
That is a process we need to play out in the court, but the logic we're going after is that, hey, these guys know what they're doing and they know it's illegal and they're actively concealing it. So it's likely we're not going to find anything that can put on paper saying we're going to do this. But we have seen this playing out in faculty hiring, and we are making the allegation that they're probably doing that in student admission as well, because these two are closely related.
Let me stop playing this, man. You see this disgusting little freaking tactic, right? And again, it's an insult to numbers of American blacks collectively, right? It's insult. Let me go back here. Right? Again, it's an insult to numbers of American blacks collectively. Because that's what they're doing. Certain type of white Asians. See, 1 minute is, oh, well, there's certain type of other Asians. Which ones? Asia's a continent. You see the game. And you certainly not talking about Afro Asian. Where's all the Afro Asians at? Huh? Where's the dark skin Afro Asians at? Oh, I forgot. They don't give a damn about numbers of Afro Asians. You see this game. It's a disgusting game. It's a brilliant game, but it's a disgusting tactic, right? So you see how they went from, well, I don't see anything on paper, but at the same time, you know, the faculty, you like, man, go to hell with that tactic, right? Again, you look up the UC faculty. I haven't even done that because I already know what it's going to be like, right? And you see how low that UC system is going to have American black faculties, right? I said that it showed you the demographics of the enrollment of UC, right? And the number one demographics was numbers of Asians. And number 2 was what? Latinos. Number 3 was like white, whatever I said. Number 4 was black, whatever the combination. What the whole point is, American blacks are like number 4, and Asians number 1, and he's like, no, Latinos are not number 2 or number 3. One of those combinations. But you see the game, right? American blacks are like number 4 in the UC system of demographics, but they don't give a damn about that. The game is hardcore, man. So that's all I wanted to sit there and show. I wanted to show you another video about how certain type of Ivy Leagues who know they are, who profited off of American black pain, right? But I'm not going to do that on this situation, on that, because the thing about it is the insultingness. You know what? Forget that. Let me go ahead and play that video.
And see, on this channel, we hold racist Caucasian people accountable, and also the people who think they Caucasian.
Just like there are white Asians who think they are Caucasian, just like there are white Hispanics who think or want to be numbers of Caucasian. You get the point on that?
Because you gotta sit back and think about it. If you 17 years old and you caught a felony charge, fast forward until you 55 years old, every day they remind you a felon. Every day you go to a job interview, oh, you a felon, you 55, you 50 years old. They gonna remind you of what you did at 17 years old. They don't care if you say, oh, I gave my life to Christ, I changed my life around. The criminal justice system don't want to hear that. The judge don't want to hear that. They don't care. They will never forgive you. So little old me, I decided to keep that same energy when it comes to them. When they give you a mugshot, when they arrest you, when you go to court, they blast it all over social media, all over Facebook, all over Instagram, all over YouTube. So I said, okay, when it comes to their people who do wrong to our people, I do the same thing to them. I expose them on my YouTube channel to show you they not like us, to show you they never for us. And shout out to the black lawyers at Harvard University. They was the only ones that posted Kill Duggins. And to the racist Caucasian people at Harvard who didn't post Kill Duggins, you're about to get this work today.
And numbers of the white Asians, right? Because again, I put inside the description of when I sit there and did an Infocast on this, right? Another game by certain numbers of other Asians, right? That will sit there and complicit with a certain number of personnel who know that who they are, right? If you say again something about a Holocaust and minimize it, they'll call you anti-Semitic. But at the same time, numbers of that personnel were in the forefront of helping to strike down racialness of parts of affirmative action, which again, American blacks still have not been the main people who have benefited off affirmative action. First of all, there are books and articles when affirmative action was white, right? See, this game, the game is so ridiculously simple when you see through it. And the thing about it is that, unfortunately, is that there are certain numbers of white Asians who think they're very sneaky. When this guy, introverted rock star, great guy, great channel, when he also did I'll just play the video. But what I'm getting at before I finish this video, when he also was talking about, I don't want to go there. The point is that when people who don't know, for different backgrounds and different cultures and ethnicities who may not know, there are various well-known Ivy League schools who benefit off of American black pain, right? The enslavement of American blacks, that benefit off Jim Crowness of American blacks, right? And numbers of white Asians and other personnel who fall under certain Asian doctrine. I'm talking about the ones it applies to, because there are good Asians, there's bad Asians. There's caste system Asians, right? And some of the main Asians who are Chinese didn't even come basically, or a little more, until the 49ers, which is the 1849 time frame, right? prior to that, it would have been a extreme, even less of minute amount of Chinese personnel, because they would have been numbers of the main personnel of Asianists that came to America, right? 1840, 1849, right? So on the Eastern Coast, they wouldn't even been thought of like that, right? In the 1840s like that. So it's like now, fast forward, close to 200 years later, numbers of Asians, right, are some of the top demographics at numbers of these Ivy League colleges. You see this game in the comment section. I put a video of, again, where numbers of white Asians, and that will be used by this other personnel who know they are within certain Jewishism, who use them, right, for anti-American blackism, right, to help strike down racial quotas, which had nothing to do with American black, because American black are not the primary benefactors in Ivy League colleges. Numbers of numbers of women within parts of the Panamese culture are the main benefactors. Numbers of migrants, migratory type personnel and stuff like that benefit off that. Other international students, the ones that benefit off this kind of stuff. Numbers of white Asians that benefit off this stuff. Numbers of white Latinos, the ones suppliers benefit off all these different things dealing with black pain, right? You see this game, right? But see, they don't want to talk about that because Vino don't even know it. And the ones who do know, they don't want to talk about it, right? Because they know they sound silly. Because they don't like to see people know the game.
And also the people who think feeling. Every day they will never forgive you. So little old me, on Facebook, all over Instagram, all over, I exposed Harvard University. And to the racist Caucasian people at Harvard who didn't post Kira Duggins, you're about to get this work today. So let's get right into this article. This article is from a company named Inside Higher Ed. It was published January 31st, 2025 by Susan H. Greensberg. Shout out to her. Layoffs and a resignation at Harvard's Legacy of Slavery Initiative. And notice how the news hide certain things around Super Bowl time. Notice that Harvard University last week laid off the staff of the Harvard Slavery Remembrance Program, who were tasked with identifying the direct descendants of those enslaved by Harvard-affiliated administrators, facility, and staff. The work, which was part of the university's $100 million Legacy of Slavery Initiative, will now fall entirely to the American Ancestors, a national genealogical nonprofit that Harvard was already partnering with. And see, of course, on this video, I'm going to turn up because this is not a small matter.
You see what this says? In honor of the enslaved whose labor created wealth that made possible the founding of Harvard Law School, may we pursue the highest deals of laws and justice in their memory. The thing about it is, numbers of Ivy League schools have benefited off American black pain. And even though numbers of American blacks have such a low enrollment at numbers of these Ivy League schools, there are certain type of white Asians, the one this applies to, because there are good ones and the bad ones. But related to this topic of this Infocast, there are a number of white Asians who have a hatred for American blacks and have some of the highest enrollments in these various types of Ivy League colleges. Again, I've done, for the people interested, in the comment section of this podcast or Infocast, I've put a link to one of another game playing Infocast that I relayed over, how there was a certain number of Asians that sit there and were used by certain personnel who, if you talk about a certain thing relating to certain a holy cause, as if that is the only holy cause, right? Oh, now, American Black Holocaust predates that. American Black Holocaust postdates that. That bad old Hitler man, right? I put in these Infocast that link to another podcast I did that showed the game on that part, right? Where they were used to sit there and bring down striking down of racial quotas are supposed to be wink wink was supposed to be the striking down of racial quotas, right? I put that in the section, a link in the comment section for people that might want to listen to that. part of it, right? But again, there are numbers of white Asians, the one this applies to, who are very sly, who have a hatred for American blacks. Again, the one this applies to, who, like in this story, that the person they want to sit there and have their son who had high scores, but the Asian father thinks that his son, even though he's rejected by several colleges, even though he had a high score, he wanted to try to play a white Asian race card, right? On the University of California system. And as I relate for people who didn't get a chance to hear that part, that I relayed the demographics, how on the UC college demographics in 2023 fall, the number one demographics of the UC California system was Asians. You see this game, right? But they try to play like that. Oh, well, you know, some racial quotas going on, and certain numbers of Asians were talking to me about certain things that, you know, they have problems. It's like, man, go somewhere that tactic. But this right here, I'm showing this particular gentleman named introverted rock star or something like that, good Infocast person. How also, you know, they're showing that, you know, there's Harvard part and stuff like that. People that numbers of Ivy League schools that benefit off American black pain. Right. But again, some of the number one, number two demographics in various types of Ivy League colleges are either white or Asian or Latino. You see this little disgusting game. But for certain type white Asians, it's not good enough because there is a planned pseudo colonizing of different colleges, right? And they're trying to push out American blacks as much as possible. But they know who their guys are, and they won't talk about, hey, they won't say, hey, certain numbers of white males or white numbers of women, the ones applies to, well, how they get in these Ivy League colleges or the UC college campus. They must got there because of DER affirmative action. UC say certain numbers of white Asians know their places, and they are scared of white God. You see this game they're playing.
I said, let me slow it down some. Let me go down a rabbit hole a little further, and let me go on Google and do more research. Check this out. Harvard enslaved people from its founding in 1636 until the end of slavery in Massachusetts in 1783. The university's ties to slavery were extensive, including some enslaved people worked and lived on campus, caring for students, faculty, and presidents. Now,
now look at that part. Yes, Harvard enslaved people from its founding in 1636 until the end of slavery in Massachusetts in 1783. The university ties to slavery were extensive, including enslaved people on campus. You get the point of this, right? But numbers of white Asians, they don't want to talk about that. But again, in the comments, in the description of this podcast, I include a link on an Infocast I did to show this other game game that certain numbers of white Asians were used by certain personnel who know they are. That if you talk about that bad man Hotla, people know what I'm talking about, or that one a-hole it calls, they're called, and you don't say anything for them, that person who knows who they are, they call you anti-Semitic. And I sit there and show in the description of this Infocast, I put a link in there that showed how Harvard and I think it's University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, I'm just giving an example, were the testing grounds, and how other colleges. But in the Harvard part, I sit there and show where the number 2 population of demographics in Harvard is Asians. Right? And you start looking at other Ivy League colleges and you start saying the same thing, right? Number 1, either white, or number 1, Asians. Number 2, you get the point, right? But around the 4th, demographics will be American blacks in various types of Ivy League colleges, right? But they don't want to talk about that part, numbers of white Asians. You see, it's a disgusting tactic. And they know numbers of American blacks are foolish collectively to not know these little silly ass games. And on the UC campus of University or whatever California campus, that this particular Asian father and the team was complaining about how, they were rejected by various colleges and they tried to file suit, I guess, about the University of California campus or whatever else, going against talking about saying that like racial quotas. right, without having concrete evidence. You see this game, right? But the UC campus, the number one demographics is Asians. The number one, again, demographics in the UC California campuses is Asians. Man, see, that's why I say these games by certain numbers of white Asians is despicable. And again, there are numbers of good Asians and bad Asians, and there are numbers of Asians that can't stand other Asians, right? But again, these kind of topics are not talked about enough. And certainly numbers of white Asians don't want to talk about how they benefit off American black pain at various types of Eastern Coast Ivy League colleges one applies to because of American blacks that is sit there help so many other cultures out to only be stepped over, right? By numbers of white Latinos, one applies to numbers of white Asians. You get the point. Numbers of immigratiness, immigratiness, one applies to numbers of border breaker, illegal immigrant personnel who are getting benefits all over the place. You get the point, right? But numbers of white Asians, they don't want to talk about this because they know how slick they sound. Because it's like, how the hell you get into all these damn Ivy League colleges? What? It ain't because every single one is smart. What? What about the ones, numbers of white males and white women out there? They don't sit there and go off on them and say how they get these Ivy League colleges. It's only when it's dealing with American blacks, the numbers of white Asians got something up their tails that they got that hatred for. Golly, boy, it's ridiculous.
On campus, caring for students, faculty, and presidents. Now, this is the crazy part. Harvard received donations from slaveholders, slave traders, and others who profited from slavery. Harvard professors and their graduates promoted race science and eugenics, which led to discrimination against black people. So from 1630, Harvard received donations from slaveholders, slave traders, and others who profited from slavery. Harvard professors and their graduates promoted race science and eugenics, which led to discrimination against black people.
Man, but you're going to have some people. There are some numbers of white Asians that are going to be doing just like this. Let me show what someone would do. This is what someone would do. Some numbers of white Asians, the ones that have an anti-American black hatred, the ones it applies to, they see nothing, they hear nothing, they'll know nothing. Right? You understand? It's a disgusting tactic. It's a brilliant tactic, but it's a disgusting tactic. Because again, the main Asian demographics didn't really start coming over, and it was such a minute number, was around 1840s on which is called the 49ers, when gold was really discovered in certain parts of California, is when you start seeing certain numbers of Asians, and that was more Pacific numbers of Chinese. There was no gigantic amount of Japanese before the Chinese. There was no number of Vietnamese, numbers of Koreans. You get the point, right? Numbers of Hmong, numbers of Laotians. You get the point. Numbers of Armenians. What Armenians got to do? Because Armenians are also Asian. What about Indians? Don't go, please. There was no such thing as people you had a conversation about Indians from India in the 1840s like that, nor Pakistan, Afghanistan. You get the point, right? So this game of this white Asianness is very disturbing. It's demonic. Because again, there's numbers of good Asians. It's a very small that will tell how there are numbers of other Asians who are sitting there showing their anti-American black hatred, right? And unfortunately, numbers of American blacks are very naive, though with very few exceptions. And you see this right here, what they talk about. Harvard professors and their graduates promoted race science, the one this applies to, and eugenics, which led to discrimination against black people, the one this applies to, right? And they say it was discriminated toward numbers of white Asians or white Latinos or white Native Americans. Do you understand? What the game?
So from 1636 to 1783, they told us they only owned 900 slaves. That's 147 years. You do the math. But then I said, wait, this is why Keela Duggan said this. Check this out.
You should not be the one with imposter syndrome. The people who had all the privileges and all the power and are sitting next to you, they should have imposter syndrome.
Yeah, she was saying that some of them should have the imposter syndrome, right? Some numbers of people of color, minorities, and communities of color, and all that old nonsense switcher, which dilutes down American black. So you see the game that I want to do this today is February 20th, 2025. I just wanted to do another timepiece purpose because these games are getting ridiculous because unfortunately certain numbers of American blacks that do not know the game or allowing people to show disrespect on that situation. But again, unfortunately, none of the American blacks that are doing this like this. Well, I'm going to all that. But let me play this last video again about this particular other Asian, Mr. Miyagi Asian guy who showing his anti-American black hatred. But again, right? But under the Biden administration, Kamala Harris administration, what numbers of Asians, who that's supposed to mean? Because there's caste system Asians, they got an anti-Asian hate crime, right? Didn't take long either, but the number one group who has the most hatred put upon them is the American blacks. You see how this goes, right? And you have some foolish ones, some foolish numbers of white Asians, the ones applies to, because that's good and bad ones. That the bad ones, I was like, well, you need to have a conversation about black people, doing this messed up stuff toward Asians. What are you talking about? And they found out the number one people that were doing stuff toward Asians were not American blacks. Man, boy, I'm telling you, American blacks better wake that up a little bit.
What's the issue?
What's up?
Why are you coming over here?
I just want to see what you guys are taking pictures of.
Why is it your business?
Oh, you know what? This is my home.
Okay, mine too. Why are you taking pictures
Where
of
do
me?
you live?
I live in Scottsdale. Why are you taking pictures of me?
Michigan plates?
Yeah. Why are you taking pictures of me?
Well, you know what? We've had problems here.
I don't care. You don't know me. Why are you taking pictures of me? And I don't know you. Do you know a lot of white men are doing racist things in this world, sir?
No.
You don't know that? You're not aware
I'm
of
a
that?
racist.
You are a racist.
I'm a racist.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay? So
what's
the
your
issue?
point? Why are you here?
Because this is a no zone.
Not really.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
Not really, sir.
Tell me.
There's not a not zone. I'm here.
You
And what I'm about to do, I do. I stay here. What I'm about to do,
yeah.
Me and my friend, we
you
about to record our.
You heard what he said. This is not an N-word zone. But at the same time, you got numbers of white Asians, like this one I just showed you, that have the damn nerve to show their anti-American black hatred. And numbers of white Asians don't want to talk about their hatred toward American blacks. I thank you for tuning in to the Real CP Show.